Have you ever noticed that the smartest men in a room are often the ones who speak the least? That's no coincidence. In a world where everyone seems eager to voice their opinion, the truly wise often walk a different path. They speak less, listen more, and only talk when they genuinely have something to add. Could silence actually be a higher form of intelligence? But why do intelligent men avoid certain common, even casual phrases? Is it just a matter of style, or is there something deeper going on? And more importantly, what do these phrases reveal about our personal growth, or the lack of it? The truth is, wise men weren't born that way. They became wise. And along the way, they learned, sometimes the hard way, that what we say, or choose not to say, shapes how others see us and how we see ourselves. Today we're diving into 7 phrases truly intelligent men never say. Not because they're flawless, but because they've learned how these words quietly undermine their credibility, clarity, and self-respect. If you're ready to upgrade not just your communication, but your mindset, stay with me. Now's the time to share this with a friend who's also on the path of growth. This conversation might be the nudge they need. And if you haven't subscribed yet, this is your moment. Wisdom loves company. I already know that. The closed mind masquerading as confidence. How often do we hear or say, I already know that? Sometimes it slips out defensively. Other times, it's just automatic. But underneath this phrase lies a closed mind. When we declare that we already know something, we block ourselves from learning more. It's ego trying to protect the illusion of competence. As Marcus Aurelius said, you cannot learn anything when you think you already know everything. The wisest men I've met all had one thing in common. They listened. Not because they didn't know, but because they understood that every experience holds new perspectives, details, and angles. Real intelligence recognizes that knowledge isn't a trophy on a shelf. It's a river in motion. Every time you step in, the water has changed. That's impossible. Fear disguised as logic. That's impossible often sounds rational at first. Logical. Safe. But many times, it's not an assessment, it's fear. Fear of failure, fear of trying, fear of losing. I once knew a brilliant man who shut down every new idea with those 2 words. It wasn't that the ideas were unrealistic. He just wasn't willing to stretch himself. As Seneca said, we suffer more in imagination than in reality. Wise men don't ignore challenges. They just refuse to be defeated by them before even trying. They asked, what step can I take today? That's how progress is made. That's not my fault. The quiet surrender of power. We all want to protect ourselves. When things go wrong, it's natural to say, that wasn't my fault. But that phrase hands over your power. Responsibility isn't about blame, it's about influence. When you deny your part, you also give up the chance to improve. Smart men asked, what could I have done differently? That single question changes everything. It turns helplessness into strength. If this resonated with you, comment, I take ownership, below. Let's normalize responsibility as a sign of strength, not guilt. I don't need help. Pride that quietly destroys. The lone wolf image is still glorified, but it's false. No one thrives alone. Refusing help often isn't strength, it's pride. Abraham Lincoln didn't lead alone. He surrounded himself with advisors who challenged him, not because he lacked confidence, but because he had the wisdom to value other perspectives. Intelligent men don't measure strength by how long they carry a burden alone, but by how wisely they choose to share it. I'm too old for that. The silent death of possibility. This phrase sounds harmless, practical, even, but it's toxic. Age doesn't limit a man. Mindset does. Harry Bernstein wrote his first book at 93 and published it at 96. His story reminds us, as long as you're breathing, you're still becoming. Age doesn't disqualify purpose, it enriches it. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, life's duty doesn't stop until life itself does. And wise men know that growth doesn't end with time, it ripens through it. I'll do it later, the illusion that kills momentum. I'll do it later is where our best intentions go to die. I knew a man named Thomas, successful, respected, and always too busy. He kept postponing a call to his father until one day it was too late. What he lost wasn't just a moment, it was something irreplaceable. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do." Action builds legacy, not intention. That's just how I am, the end of growth. This phrase sounds like self-awareness, but it's often an excuse. It says, I refuse to grow. Intelligent men reject that. They know they are always in progress, never finished. As Epictetus said, it's not the things themselves that disturb us, but our judgments about them. You are not your past habits. You are your current choices. Growth begins where excuses end. Conclusion, intelligence is a moving target. If one of these phrases hit home for you, good. That means you're awake. Intelligent men aren't perfect. They're committed to evolving. Wisdom isn't about always knowing. It's about staying open, curious, and ready to improve. So, which phrase are you leaving behind today? Maybe it's, I'll do it later, or, that's just who I am. It doesn't matter where you begin. What matters is that you start. Share this with someone walking the same path. Wisdom grows when it's shared. And if this message spoke to you, stick around. The journey doesn't end here.